You know that feeling, right? That little hum of dissatisfaction in the background, no matter how good things get. It's this deep sense that something's missing. Well, it turns out that's not a bug. It's a feature of being human. And today, we're going to unpack exactly why that is.
So let's just get right to the heart of it with this one big question. Why does a life of perfect, 100% satisfaction always feel like it's just around the corner, but never quite here? It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's actually built into our design.
And here's the fundamental paradox that explains everything. At our very core, we are creatures with infinite, boundless desires. But we're living in a world that is very, very finite. This mismatch, well, that's the source of all our restlessness. So what are these so-called infinite desires? Now, it's not like an endless shopping list of things we want. The source material we're looking at boils it down to 3 core insatiable desires that are basically programmed into our DNA. Let's break them down. Okay, here they are, the big 3. First, the desire to live forever. Second, the desire for new and different experiences. And third, the desire to constantly get better, to grow. These are the engines that are always pushing us forward. So first and foremost, we crave eternity. I mean, deep down, we just want to exist forever. So much of what we do is really just pushing back against our biggest fear, the fear of not existing anymore. The source calls this our most fundamental drive, using the phrase him she var olmak, which basically means the profound wish to simply be and to be forever. But think about it. Eternity on its own isn't quite enough, is it? I mean, an endless life doing the exact same thing over and over? That sounds more like a prison. That's why, right on top of our desire for permanence, we have this equally powerful craving for variety, for newness, for different experiences. And the third piece of this puzzle is our built-in need for growth. We don't just want to be around forever with an endless buffet of experiences. We want to become more. We have this deep, nagging need to keep moving forward, to improve ourselves, and to reach for something higher. So, we've established we have these 3 colossal, infinite desires hardwired into us. But what happens when these unstoppable forces meet the very immovable object that is our reality? Let's ask it directly. How does this finite world we live in actually respond to our infinite longings? Is it even designed to satisfy them in the first place? And the source material gives a pretty blunt answer. It says the fulfillment we're really truly looking for, well, you can't find it here. This place, this world, it isn't the final destination. I love the metaphor the source uses for this. It says to think of life's limits, getting older, losing things, failing. Think of them not as flaws in the system, but as road signs. And every single one of them is pointing in the same direction, basically saying, wrong way. The fulfillment you're looking for isn't down this path. This road is closed. Okay, so this leads to a massive question. If we're built to want things we just can't get here, then what's the point of all the struggle? Why even give us these desires at all? And this is where we have to do a complete 180 in our thinking. Most of us see problems as failures or punishments. We think life is supposed to be easy, but the source suggests the complete opposite. Problems aren't punishments. They are the actual tools we're given to grow. This life isn't the main event. It's the training ground. So here's the bottom line. Every tough time, every challenge, every single one of those closed road signs we run into, it's not there to break us. It's there to build us. The hardships are the very things that make us grow. And what's the goal of all this growing? According to the source, the whole point of our time here is to increase what it calls the ruhan tutumu, which you can translate as the capacity of our soul. It's about expanding the very essence of who we are. Now, once we get our heads around that idea, that this is all about growth and expanding our capacity, we can look at our absolute greatest fear, death, in a totally different light. This is such a powerful way to flip the script. The one thing we fear the most, that ultimate closed road, is actually the opposite of what we think it is. Death isn't the end of the line. It's the very door to that eternity we've been craving all along. So instead of seeing death as the problem, this perspective sees it as the solution. It's the moment of transition where our most fundamental desire, the desire for eternity, can finally actually be fulfilled. It's not a wall, it's a gateway. And this all brings us to one final brilliant metaphor that kind of ties this whole thing together. It's all about what we manage to take with us when we walk through that final door. You know the saying, you can't take it with you. And it's true. You can't take your stuff, your status, none of that. But there is one thing we carry with us from this life into whatever comes next. The capacity we have built inside our soul, that's the container we've spent our entire lives shaping. The source material gives us this incredible way to picture it. Imagine you arrive at an infinite, glorious banquet. If you spent your life building a soul with the capacity of a tiny teaspoon, well, that's all you have to experience the feast with. But if you built a capacity the size of an ocean, you get to experience the full, magnificent, incredible measure of everything that's offered. And that's how it all connects. Every single problem you solve, every hardship you push through, every time you choose to grow instead of taking the easy way out, all of it has one single purpose: to expand your container, to make you bigger on the inside so you have more capacity to experience what comes next.
So, we end not with a statement, but with a question for all of us, really. If you know that this inner capacity is the only thing you truly get to keep, what are you doing today to expand it?